best to be frighteningly wintry out there. And you all made it here anyway, which is just lovely. It is the beginning of the month of December. It feels like, you know, the days are getting shorter, even though soon we'll reach the point where things change back again. But I anyway, am definitely looking ahead to a festival of light in just a few short days. And Shabbat, of course, is the moment that brightens our day as well. Let's turn together on page 128 as we turn to the words of Yedid Nefesh, asking that God be with us and that our extra soul, our heart's delight, join us and accompany us through these hours of Shabbat. Page 121. As the Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. And we welcome Shabbat now with this series of blessings, beginning with the kindling of light. Page 120, delighted to invite up Tracy and Brian.
Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kedusha, v'mitzvoto v'tzivanu v'hadlik shel Shabbat.
Page 122 as we prepare for Kiddush.
The heaven and the earth were finished, and all their array. On the seventh day, God finished the work that God had been doing, and God ceased on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all work of creation that God had done. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hadafos.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hadafos. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu mitzvoto v'ratzavanu Shabbat kodsho, ve'ahava u'ratzo, yichiranu. Zikaron le'maaseh, harei-shit. Ki hu yom techila le'mikai kodesh. Zecher tzivot Yisrael.
Thank you so much. Shabbat Shalom. Friends, let's turn together to page 136 now. Our prayer book gives us several different psalms to sing before actually we get to the words of L'chadodi. And each one of them is supposed to be another rung on a ladder that leads us to the holiness of Shabbat. So we're adding in this psalm tonight, Psalm 29. Mizmor LeDavid. Now let's turn to page 138. As we welcome Shabbat as a beloved presence, come as an honored guest to join us.
Thank you.
of Shabbat, the Shabbat presence finally here. Turn to those in your midst. Say hello to someone you haven't greeted yet tonight. Wish each other Shabbat Shalom. I invite you to turn to page 146, as together we are called to worship with the words of the Bible.
Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la. Baruch Adonai, Amen. Baruch Adonai, Amen. Le'olam va'ed. Ya la la la, 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 ya la la la.
Greet the change in the seasons and the change in the daylight with joy with the words on page 148. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher b'dvaro ma'ariv ha'ravim v'chokhmah potech she'arim u'bitvuna meshaneh itim u'machalif et hazmanim u'misader et hakochavim v'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono Borei yom v'layla, v'lel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, u'ma'avir yom v'mevi layla, u'ma'avdil bein yom v'bein layla, Adonai Tzebaot Shemo, El Chai v'kayam, Tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, ha'ariv ha'aravim. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch
Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Elohim, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Yevod Malchuto. Ubishatamot ayadacha, v'hayu litotafot b'einecha, u'chtatam amezuzot beitecha, u'vishamecha, lama tizkaru, v'asitem et ומצוותיי, ואיתם קדושים אלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Page 157, please join me. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. So this past week, one of the other deceased remaining hostages was released from Israel. I'm sorry, I don't know his name. He was a Thai worker who had been working in, I believe, in Gaza, and his remains were returned. Which means that there is but one remaining hostage still held in captivity in Gaza. It is so easy to think we're done. No, the living hostages have been returned to their families, and most of the remains of the others have been as well. But I want to lift up tonight so that we can remember the name of Officer Ron Gvili, who was an Israeli police officer who was called to duty for the Nova Music Festival, even though it was not a regular part of his duty. He went and he helped people escape from danger there, but he himself lost his life. I believe he was 32. And he has a grieving family who are saying, we're not done. Please keep the pressure on. Let us bring our son, our sibling home, so that we too can feel whole. We ask for peace, O God, of all kinds, that we can rest in peace, and that we can feel that sense of wholeness and shelter. In the words of the Hashkivain at page 161 at the bottom, please join me. Give us a place to rest, Adonai our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, haborei sukat shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Jonas writes, God has placed abilities and challenges in our heart without regard to gender. Each of us has the duty, whether man or woman or any other gender, to realize those gifts that God has given. Let's turn to page 164 together as we rise to learn better what our gifts might be and to commit to realizing them. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, El Havadol HaGibor HaNorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Mekoneh HaKol, Mezocher Chaserot Ve'imahot, U'mevii Geula Livnei Bneihem, Le'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Be'ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Elam Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol Atara Ve'Moshiach, Mashich HaRuach, U'Morid HaGashem,
מחלל חיים בחסד, וחיי הכל ברחמים רבים. צומח נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ופתאום מלך, מלך אמיץ ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה. נאמן אתה לחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יעמדו חסדיך. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. 173. Disturb us, Adonai, ruffle us from our complacency, make us dissatisfied with the peace of ignorance, the quietude which arises from a shunning of the horror, the defeat, the bitterness, and the poverty, physical and spiritual, of humans. Make us know that the border of the sanctuary is not the border of living. And the walls of your temples are not shelters from the winds of truth, justice, and reality. Disturb us, O God, and vex us. Let not your Shabbat be a day of torpor and slumber. Let it be a time to be stirred and spurred to action. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh Shabbat. We'll turn to page 177. Many of us gathered around the table to give thanks last week, or joined us here in our interfaith service. And maybe you are still feeling some of the joy of that time, or maybe that feels like it's the distant past. And it's time to remember that giving thanks is not a once-a-year thing in our tradition, but really at least weekly, but certainly even daily task. So just take a moment and to yourself conjure up something for which you are grateful. And we'll tell you that we had a lovely top Shabbat just before this. Thank you, Tracy, for all the work that you do to keep that program going. And I asked the kids what made them happy, and I got everything from Tyrannosaurus Rex to their stuffy, who I got introduced to, and to marshmallows. And it's just so beautiful hearing from kids, because it's very easy for them to think of those joys, those tiny joys. Let's take a moment and just think of those joys in our own lives as well. On page 177, let's read the top prayer together as we give thanks. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth, which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, Atov Shimcha, U'lecha na'eh le'odot. song of this space as we add to the prayers we've shared, those we find in our hearts. We pray in silence. Moments to offer up Mishabara prayer for healing for those we know in our midst, in our community, on our minds, who are ailing and in need of our prayers. Tonight we pray for the health, the healing, the well-being of Jamie Littman Abish, Eileen Andak, Ellen Bassick, Benjamin Menachem Frank, Carolyn Marone, Miriam Shulamit, Bakela, J. Bieber, Jane Bernstein, Wendy Bernstein, Dennis Brenner, Jack Kazis, Nora Correa, Richard Domash, Pamela Dorman, Susan Zietzik, Janet Ewing, Norm Fetter, Kelly Fink, Arthur Fisher, Judy Fisher, Michelle Fisk, Parker Foray, Devin Foster, Barbara Goldberg, Florence Goldberg, Larry Goldberg, Sandra Goldberg, Florence Goldring, Stephen Goldstein, Jean Gormley, Elise Grace, Lee Hawley, Marilyn Heckler, Enid Hirsch, Matthew A. Hood, Dacia Horowitz, Phyllis Horn, Jason Israel, Stephen Israel, Toby Israel, Christine Jacobson, Danette Jamal, Mars Jamal, Louis Kaufman, Joseph Keating, Rita Kimmel, Tatiana Kortuniak, Mr. Krajewski, Sandy Lay, Gail Levy, Robert Mandel, Robert Mannix, Barbara Massey, Susan Miller, Ashley Moranti, Adam Moranti, Hannah Rachel Bat Miriam, Rachel Zahaba Bat Miriam, Shmuel Yitzhak Ben Nisan, Patrice Newman, Nora Tzipora Bat Irana, Carrie Odell, Sophia Palladino, Esther Parker, Berlinda Pescatori, Albert Fatler, Rabbi Mr. Polanski, Emily Raja, Carol Ryder, Jan Rhodes, Julie Rosenberg, Laura Rosenspan, Renee Rosenthal, Sylvia Rubel, Martine Rubin, Jamie Rudick, Helene Schoenhout, Charlotte Miriam Schmuck, Richard Skaga, Tova Bashifra, Michael Spadali, Edmund Steiner, Rhoda Strobel, Mark Strominger, Calvin Tantoni, Marlena Iris Wisson, Rachel Leah Bat Yosefa, and Jeffrey Young. And if you wish, I invite you now to share with us names of others for whom you wish us to pray. I'll start on this side. I got
Paul Drummond.
Thank you.
Alejandro Raba and Rafael Cho.
Thank you. Arlene.
Aaron Wilsey,
Turn.
Sean Peel, John Jason.
Thank you. And last on this side. And on this side. Yeah, good.
Brian Wilson and David Freed.
Thank you. Jeff.
George Alexis.
Thank you.
Sam Freeman, Molly Lucas, Mary Rowan.
Thank you, Vivian. All right.
Ronald Cole.
Gloria, did I miss you? Go ahead. Thank you. Holy One of Blessing, hear those names that we've shared aloud, as well as those people we're thinking of and holding on our hearts. Bring each and every one of them to refuah, healing, body, mind, or spirit. Baruch atah Adonai Rofeach Olam. Praising you, eternal one, the source from whence healing flows. So join us if you wish on page 370. So last Shabbat, after our service on Saturday, I read the news of the passing of one of my favorite playwrights, Tom Stoppard. He died on Saturday at age 88, having lived a full and rich life and having lived a prolific life as well. The New York Times this week ran a list of movies that he had been involved in writing, and invited you to see them, and there were way more than I even knew about. I, of course, loved him for his plays. I thought he had the perfect combination of humor and wit, and was able to deal with important subjects in a way that was intellectual and wry, and a little bit funny, and also with a whole lot of depth. So Tom Stoppard was British, and knew that throughout his life. He had been 8 years old when his family, his mother and her new husband, and Tom, landed in England. And he thought his life and his background was quite simple, but it was only in his 50s that he learned why his family had moved to England. And that is because they were Jewish. His father, not his stepfather, his father and his mother were both Jewish. They had been in Czechoslovakia, and they left to escape the Nazis. So Tom Stoppard grew up knowing none of this background, and it was only later in his life, he wrote, when his mother was in her 60s, he tried to get her to talk and to share more about their past. And she wrote, and I'm just going to read a piece, she said, "The move to England had been so sudden, unplanned, and drastic that I perhaps subconsciously decided the only thing to make it possible to live and truly settle down was to draw a blind over my past life and start, so to speak, from scratch." Well, later in his life, in his 50s, Stoppard wasn't content with having that blind over that past. And so he did some research, spoke to cousins, and learned more about his background. And that resulted in a play that some of you may have seen a few years ago on Broadway, Leopoldstadt, which was his last play. I was blessed to see it. In that play, he tries to come to terms with the new awareness of who he was. He wrestles with the rest of his life, for the rest of his life, with what the knowledge of his past meant to him, to his identity, and to his sense of self. This week we turn to the Torah portion, Vayishlach, and we read the continuing story of our ancestor, Yaakov, Jacob. Jacob, like Stoppard, has left a past behind too. There he is, so deeply involved in his present that perhaps that past is very distant to him too. Over 20 years have gone by since he left his childhood home, and in that time he's traveled, he's met Rachel at the well, Rachel at the well, married her and her sister Leah. He has now 2 wives, 12 children, a wealth of animals. He's a herdsman, so a wealth of cows, sheep, and goats. And he leaves his father-in-law's home, rich and wealthy, and with a sense of an identity in the present. But we know that he has a past as well. He doesn't think about it. He celebrates the present. But we know that when he left his home, it was because his brother had threatened to kill him, because he, Jacob, had taken the blessing that his brother thought belonged to him, taken that blessing from their father. And so Jacob has lived, perhaps for these past 20 years, with that knowledge very safely buried in his subconscious, until this week's portion, when he gets word that his brother Esau is coming to see him, and that Esau is bringing with him 400 men, probably, presumably, an army's worth of men to greet him. So the text doesn't tell us exactly how Jacob felt upon hearing this news, but I can imagine it. A flood of questions must have washed over him. What does Esau mean to do with this meeting? Does he still want to kill me? What am I repressing? What do I think I deserve in terms of a punishment? And how can I protect who I am at this time, and my family, my wealth, and my status? So filled with fear, filled with questions, filled with doubts, Jacob arranges to be alone the night before the meeting with his brother Esau. He sends his family, his wives, his concubines, all the children to one side of the river, and then he stays on the other side of the Jabbok River alone. And the text tells us that he wrestles there. He wrestles with somebody, something. It's not quite clear. The Hebrew word that's used is ish. Could be a man, could be an angel, could be God, God's self, could be his own conscience, it could be Esau, or some representation of Esau. We don't know for sure. But what we do know is this. Jacob makes a choice that night. And that choice, I think, is profoundly different from the choices he's made earlier in his life. In the past, he's fled from what's been difficult. He left his home and fled from his brother. In the past, in those 20 years of serving Laban and marrying his family, he fled kind of psychologically by leaving behind that past and not coming to terms with who he is. But here, at this moment, he doesn't flee. He doesn't hide behind a costume pretending to be someone else. And he doesn't run away. Instead, he stays in place and he wrestles. He struggles. And as you know, probably, that struggle continues throughout the night. And it doesn't end with a victory for Jacob. It doesn't end with a defeat for him either. Ish, the creature with whom he's wrestling, tells him that his name will no longer be just Jacob, but his name will now also be Yisrael. And it says in the book of Genesis, "For you have striven with beings divine and human and have prevailed." Jacob thus gets the new name Yisrael, the wrestler. And the commentator Rashi teaches us that from this moment on, Jacob continues to be blessed, but not through deception, not through running and hiding, but through honesty and integrity. This new name gives him not just a new identity, but a new way of being, a new way of bringing together the pieces. Jacob gets that new name that night, but you know as well that we get that name too, because we are Yisrael, Israel, the country, but B'nai Israel, we are the people, the children of Israel. And we too are invited to participate in struggle. Right? I think that struggle is part of life. And it is easy sometimes, for me anyway, I'll confess, to not want to struggle. If things aren't the way I like, I want to turn away. I want to escape. And sometimes we need to go see a good movie or have a good laugh with friends. Those are all part of life and very, very good and very important things to do. But it is also equally important to stay in the difficulty, to wrestle with the questions that may keep us up at night, with the own questions of our own identity and our own past. And you should know as well that word Yisrael doesn't just mean the wrestler, but it is the one who wrestles with El, with God. Rabbi Arthur Roscoe, of blessed memory, who died earlier this year, wrote a famous book called God Wrestlers. God Wrestling, I think it is actually. And that was his title for us, we Jews. Because even our faith is complicated. Some of us walk along feeling that things are easy, that we have a set of rules to follow and God will provide. But the vast majority of us have questions, have doubts about God, about theology, about our own lives and our own sense of purpose. That's what it means to be Israel, to be Jews. It means not shying away from the tough questions, but engaging. Right? Wrestling, after all, implies a persistence and an intimacy. Right? We have the ability to not just accept a doctrine that's given to us, but to ask the big questions, to allow for a faith that is fluid, and to continue to engage. And if we do so, then we can face our pasts and our futures, knowing that God is there with us and that we too have prevailed. And he runs on. Let's turn back in our prayer books now to page 586 as we look together to that vision of hope, of promise, and peace that we know of as Amen. I invite you to rise as the echoes
Shalom,
thoughts turn at this moment to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, those of every race, every nation, whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we give thanks for the legacies that they have left, the questions that they have left us as well, and the love that they leave us as an eternal legacy. As always, if you hear the name of a loved one you're remembering, I invite you to rise in loving memory of that person. We learned just this week of the passing just about a month ago of Miriam Stoll. It's remembered by Michael and Joseph and Sarah, her children and their families, and by her temple family. And this week we mark the Yahrzeit, the anniversaries of the passing of these beloved. We remember Harry Brooks, the father of Carla Osuna of blessed memory. Morris Cantos, brother of Esther Gruchevsky. Wilma Cohen, mother of Michelle Gold. Harriet Dubois, cousin of Jacqueline McCory. Goldie Farber, mother of Estelle Magidson. Ruth Flock and Walter Flock, parents of Vivian and Raymond Flock, in-laws of Annie Flock and grandparents of Ben Flock. Hyman Glick, the father of Phyllis Richards. Betty Gordon, mother of Mark Gordon. Eric Hirsch, father of Hannah Corliss. Carol LeClaire, cousin of Ronald Schreiber. Jerome Lepselter, father of Ira Lepselter. Lee Mostyn, stepmother of Kent Mostyn. Isabel Barrage, Story Rudsack, cousin of Andrea King. Stan Orbach, brother-in-law of Ronald and Barbara Schreiber. Henry Rosenberg, father of Milton Rosenberg. Burton Shaw, husband of Susan Shaw. Judy Serebnik, cousin of Joseph Horn. Martha Steinberg, sister of Carla Osuna of blessed memory. Rita Steiner, aunt of Julie Steiner O'Donnell. Lillian Sussman Jupiter, mother of Sheila Boxer. And Charlotte Wilson, the wife of Stephen Wilson. If anybody would like to share the name of another loved one you're remembering, just lift your hand down. I'll just Thank you. Jody? Thank you. Any others? Zichronom livracha. May the memories of the righteous and our beloved continue to bless us always. Let's turn together to page 598 as we rise as one community. The words of the Mars Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shnei rabah, v'yalmad tivrach v'yuteh v'yamlik malchuteh, v'chayei kol v'yamecho, v'chayei l'chol beit Yisrael, v'hagalah v'zman karib v'yigru amen. Yehei shmei rabah mevarach v'olam v'amei maya. Yitarach v'yishabach v'yitma'ar v'yitramah v'yitnaseh. Yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal. Shemei Kedusha B'richu, Le'ela Mikol Birchata V'shirata, Tishbachata V'nechamata, Ta'amiram Yalmav V'yibru Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chayim Aleinu V'yal Kol Yisrael, V'yibru Amen. Oseh Shalom V'mamav, Hu Yavaseh Shalom, Aleinu V'yal Kol Yisrael, V'yal Kol Yoshvei Tedel. Amen. Unless your name is Danny Weisfeld, who is our Bima officer for tonight. getting firm, sharing some announcements with us.
You got time? Shabbat shalom to everybody present and in the video world. Anyway, thank you, Rabbi and Cantor. Thank you, Yuri, for a wonderful service. As always, inspirational to me and educational sometimes also. It's really appreciated. So, I have some notes. So anyway, things as always, always remember to look at the weekly updates to see what's going on with all the numerous activities that are offered. Of course, Torah study will be tomorrow at 9:15 in person and on Zoom. What do we have? Choir rehearsal. Choir rehearsal is on Wednesday. And as the husband of a choir member we're very proud of, I'd like to remind everybody that the choir practices religiously every Wednesday. We as the spouses don't know whether we're going to have early dinner or late dinner. And that's always a matter of discussion that Carol and I have when we're going to dine in choir practice, which is on Wednesday. But it's very important to note that this coming December 19th will be a choir service. And it's really, really nice when people are attending. So you're more than welcome to attend the choir service of December 19th. Is that correct?
Yes,
It's a Hanukkah service on top. All right, very good. I just was asking Carolyn when it is. Okay, so Brotherhood enjoyed this week going to the UBS Arena to see the Islanders. I went last year and they lost. This year I didn't go and they won. That was just last Tuesday. Most important is our semi-annual congregational meeting is this coming Tuesday, Monday. I don't seem to pay attention to me. On Monday at 7:30, which you could also understand could be more encouraging if you come a half hour early because you get some coffee and cake. So that's good. So as many as possible, please attend. Thank you very much on that. And that's going to be the actual meeting starts at 7:30 and coffee will be served at 7 o'clock. On December 12th, the 5th and 6th grade dinner and service will be held on Friday the 3rd and the 12th. Please look at the update and RSVP where appropriate. On Saturday the 13th, also it's a lifelong learning, what is this? Which will be a lifelong lunch and learn, okay? This is a program and discussion with by Ms. Roberts about America's first great organized crime lord, Mrs. Mandelbaum. Okay, very good. There was once a movie about a Jewish mafia in New York, I think, about 7 years ago. And okay, on Saturday the 14th, beginning at 4:30. Sunday the 14th, yeah.
Be honest.
I'm trying to keep you honest too, so I only have it written down, I want to see if you pay attention. Okay? So Sunday the 14th at 4:30, we're really holding our annual menorah lighting ceremony on the lawn. As always, keep in touch and remember that we are very active. And one activity that I must mention is that on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, the Brotherhood is holding one of its annual Brotherhood dinners. And if anybody is still interested to sign up, please contact Mark Gold. Shabbat Shalom to everybody. It's good to see everybody.
The hardest times to be an officer are around the holidays, so because you have like a stack of things to talk about. So I appreciate the word on the details. So just to add a couple things that weren't on there, just so you know, we are very busy in the Hanukkah season, as Annie already mentioned. On Sunday afternoon, as he did mention, we have an event at the Sandfield Y. We're partnering with Common Point, and it's a family-friendly, make-your-own soup ganiyot. If you have grandkids or children in your life that you want to bring along, come and sign up and register. Details are indeed in the weekly update, but it should be a lot of fun, I think, and a good way to welcome in Hanukkah. And then that night, the 4:30 is when we begin the menorah lighting, and our own Kol Simcha Kids Choir will be singing that night. We may have some elected officials there as well, so it would be great to get a nice turnout for temple if you can make it. Hot cocoa is promised by the Lakeville Estates Civic Association. I come with hot cocoa. Then just for your own information, you should know that our Kol Simcha Choir is again going to be singing this year at Cohen's Children's Hospital. They do a festival of light where we broadcast their music into the patients' rooms and light the menorah in the lobby there. That's going to be on Tuesday, the 16th. And then, as was mentioned, we're going to sort of culminate our celebration of Hanukkah as a community with the Shabbat Hanukkah with our amazing, wonderful choir. And you are all invited to BYOM that night, which means bring your own menorah. Thank you. Candles too, if you can, and we're going to set up long tables here, and we'll watch all the candles glow together. So that should be lovely. I'm just going to put in an extra word also for the 13th, the luncheon, where Liz Ropers is quite a storyteller, and this is on the lighter side of the entertainment and the lunch and learns we get. So if you're looking for something that's amusing and yet also, as Danny said, enlightening, please do come and join us on RSVP. I think that's it. Anything else we neglected? Then let us turn together to page 634 for our closing song. When we keep Shabbat, God keeps us. Yesh Barah join us. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi